So here we go again with another astrological episode in which we watch the orange menace squirm. As I've said in many videos, it is of course true that his biggest problem is the overwhelming negativity of his big transits, some of which will not let up for years and years, but within that dark umbrella of destiny he is forced to endure, there will still be interesting short-term pockets of time when you can clearly observe the planets hassling him extra hard. One such period will be from here until the end of the month because, as luck would have it, bad luck for him, Mercury is doing its retrograde station this coming Sunday, but as it is slowing down, it is pretty much at those degrees from now until October 1st. The 25-degree Libra range appears okay in his chart by trining his Sun and sextiling his Moon, but it also squares his 12th house Saturn-Venus conjunction, and since Libra is a news and information sign in his chart, he isn't going to like what is being published. And, adding fuel to the fire, transiting Mars at 5+ Libra is just now making contact with the first planet in his axis Hollywood T-square, Neptune, and it will travel through the other two planets, Eris and Mercury, during the exact same period, from now until early October. This is doubling down on the same theme, Mars moving through the news house and bringing out information that irritates and aggravates. And the Sun, in its transit, goes through this same T-square from September 27th until October 3rd. I'm betting that we will hear that he's hearing things he doesn't like, and of course, he will lash out ineffectually like he always does, but we can be assured it's because he can feel that slowly but surely the walls are closing in. At the same time, I do have to admit that even though the balance of his planetary cycles is decidedly negative, it is also true that until Jupiter gets past the degrees in which it is supporting his Sun and Moon, he is getting enough support that it is unlikely he will find himself in super hot water. However, by Thanksgiving, Jupiter is harassing his Mars a lot more than it is supporting his Sun and Moon, and by the end of December it enters Pisces, which is the kind of turning point he is really going to dislike. Remember that his organization was brought under the microscope in the late spring, early summer days, when Jupiter made a brief entry into Pisces, signaling what is actually expected. Planets transiting through his 8th house make squares to his Sun and Moon, and from a dangerous house, and with the exact topic he is most likely to find himself in the worst trouble, namely matters of taxes and debt, what the 8th house rules, and what his organization is already being processed legally for. This will accelerate in the new year and gain massive steam as we move toward the spring and summer of 2022, because Jupiter will find his Sun and Moon by exact degree, and if you think Jupiter leaving Pisces and going into Aries in the middle of May 2022 helps him, think again, because it enters Aries and quickly makes its way into the heart of his axis Hollywood T-square and makes a station in July from his 9th house, which is the legal house. In other words, the considerable uptick in legal pressure he faces in the new year puts the GOP in more than a bit of a pickle as they decide how to orient their gaslighting in an election year. I would expect GOP politicians, and especially Trump, to cry foul, complaining that his legal troubles are all due to Democratic political pressure. But when it comes to legalities, nothing like actual evidence to make a difference in actual courts. And it sounds like Trump and his family have documented their long-term crimes sufficiently well to establish a pretty good case for conviction. My sense is that Trump's accelerating troubles in 2022 will arrive in approximate concurrence with the GOP realizing the November elections next year aren't going to go nearly as well as they were anticipating. Word out there is they're pretty sure they can get rid of Speaker Pelosi and install non-Speaker McCarthy in her place, and maybe even get Mitch in there to replace Chuck Schumer. But actually, I think they're going to do neither.